The region of Pennsylvania, in the northeastern United States, undergoes a dramatic transformation when winter arrives. As December progresses, temperatures typically fall below freezing, and frequent snowfalls blanket the fields and roads with a thick white layer. The atmosphere is one of penetrating cold, with frozen rivers and leafless trees. However, amidst these wintry landscapes stand the farms and houses of the Amish community, an Anabaptist religious group known for their simple lifestyle and distance from modern technology. In this setting, it is particularly striking to observe how, in the depths of winter, their homes remain warm and cozy without resorting to conventional electricity. The image that emerges when contemplating these houses is one of bright interiors with windows filtering the scarce daylight, solid wood furniture, and stoves fueled by natural resources. It is easy to assume that without electrical systems, central heating, or modern heat pumps, the environment would be frigid and barely habitable, but the opposite is true. The Amish have perfected traditional methods over generations to ensure constant warmth, the use of wood or coal stoves, the strategic placement of fireplaces in the home, and above all, the daily interaction of the family around these heat sources. In this way, while the icy wind lashes the exterior, a comfortable temperature is maintained inside, allowing for the performance of their daily tasks: cooking, knitting, praying, reading the scriptures, and sharing moments with family. This ability to maintain a warm home without relying on modern electricity is based on a series of factors that go beyond mere tradition. On the one hand, there is the knowledge passed down from generation to generation on how to build houses with insulating materials, proper orientations, and ventilation systems that conserve heat. Thick walls, the use of solid wood, small windows, and architectural layouts designed to prevent cold drafts help maintain the internal temperature. On the other hand, the adoption of heating methods based on natural resources, such as wood from sustainably managed forests or coal from local mines, guarantees constant heat without the fluctuations that a modern electrical or gas system can suffer during a winter storm or a power outage. In addition, the self-sufficiency that characterizes the Amish community plays a decisive role. By not depending on energy companies and maintaining a close relationship with their environment, these families preserve their autonomy. They collect their own firewood, cut it, and store it in protected spaces, ensuring its availability on the coldest nights. Their slow lifestyle, based on a different rhythm than that of technological society, allows them to dedicate time to preparing the home, inspecting stoves and fireplaces, and organizing activities that revolve around warm spaces. Likewise, the community transmits practical knowledge, from how to light a fire efficiently and safely to how to keep the heat inside the most used rooms, allowing for an internal microclimate that invites tranquility. The use of animal manure as a source of heat through methane production is configured as a practice that integrates tradition, ingenuity, and respect for the environment. Among the communities that have made this method an integral resource, the Amish stand out for their ability to maintain an energetically independent and sustainable economy. This strategy not only takes advantage of the daily production of their livestock, but also establishes a virtuous circle in which energy, food, and care for the environment converge harmoniously. The process begins in the stable, where the manure from cows, horses, or other animals raised by the Amish is carefully collected. Instead of discarding it or simply using it as traditional fertilizer, the manure is introduced into a biodigester, a closed and airtight container designed for anaerobic fermentation. Under controlled temperature and humidity conditions, bacteria decompose the organic matter, releasing methane, a gas with highly combustible properties. This gas is channeled through safe pipes to boilers or stoves specially adapted for it. With this, methane goes from being a potentially polluting waste to a useful source of heat for heating homes, stables, and workspaces. The Amish community has developed this type of energy technique as part of its philosophy of life. By not depending on conventional electricity, the methane generated allows them to heat their homes during cold winters, cook food, and maintain a suitable temperature for the fermentation of dairy products or other artisanal processes. In addition, this system supports their interest in maintaining closed economies, in which most resources are obtained and reused in their own environment, reducing dependence on external inputs and fossil fuels. The true value of this method lies in its circularity. The animals consume locally grown fodder, producing the manure that feeds the biodigester. The solid residue that remains after the generation of methane, rich in nutrients and without such strong odors, is used again as organic fertilizer in the fields, improving soil quality and reducing the need for chemical fertilizers. This continuous cycle reduces environmental impact, since the methane that in other contexts would be released into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming, is captured and used as fuel here. In this way, the emission of greenhouse gases is limited and the carbon footprint is kept low. The idea of converting animal manure into energy is not new, but its implementation in communities with a high degree of self-sufficiency, such as the Amish, is particularly original and valuable today. As the world seeks sustainable alternatives to burning fossil fuels, the use of biodigesters on small farms and rural communities is presented as a replicable model at different scales. As technology is refined, many farmers are adopting these techniques to reduce energy costs, decrease polluting emissions, and promote regenerative agriculture. This approach aligns with contemporary trends that promote the circular economy, food sovereignty, and resilience to climate and energy changes. The use of animal manure to generate methane as a heat source is a strong example of how human ingenuity, combined with traditional wisdom, can form sustainable energy systems. In the case of the Amish, this use of manure represents not only a way to obtain heat in the middle of winter, but also a contribution to global well-being by avoiding waste of resources, reducing emissions, and revaluing small-scale agriculture as a pillar of future sustainability. Passive solar heating, through proper orientation of homes, is an architectural technique that has been used throughout history in different cultures and regions of the world. In the case of the Amish community, this strategy takes on a practical and highly efficient meaning. Their houses are usually designed with the main windows facing south, in the northern hemisphere, which allows maximizing the capture of solar radiation during the brightest hours of the day. In this way, the structure of the house acts as a kind of natural collector of thermal energy, taking advantage of the physical properties of walls, glass, and floors to retain heat without the need for advanced technological systems or expensive fuels. Passive solar heating is based on the intelligent use of incident solar energy. When sunlight enters through south-facing windows, it heats internal surfaces such as stone floors, walls with large thermal mass, or thick wooden furniture. These surfaces, thanks to their thermal inertia, absorb heat and release it gradually throughout the day and night, maintaining a more stable temperature inside the home. This generates a controlled greenhouse effect, where the sun's heat is trapped inside in the form of infrared radiation. The main advantage of this system is the significant reduction in the use of fuels and electric or gas heating devices. With good orientation and proper design, the energy needs of the home are reduced, which translates into savings on the monthly bill and a decrease in dependence on fossil fuels. In a global context where the cost of energy is uncertain and concerns about climate change are increasing, passive solar heating is presented as a sustainable, affordable, and easy-to-implement option. Although Amish philosophy is distinguished by avoiding the use of modern technology in many facets of daily life, the principle of passive solar heating can perfectly coexist with other contemporary solutions. Currently, architects and designers of ecological homes, as well as promoters of sustainable construction, use this same criterion by orienting houses to the south, combining high thermal efficiency windows with materials that retain heat, and adding insulation to roofs and walls. In addition, the use of low-emissivity glass, well-sealed window frames, and seasonal shading systems, such as eaves and awnings, refine the technique, improving interior comfort throughout the year. Passive solar heating, inspired by a technique as traditional as that used by the Amish, is still fully valid. As building codes become stricter regarding energy efficiency, and society as a whole seeks to reduce its carbon footprint, passive architectural design becomes a key tool. Its integration in urban and rural environments, and in different climates around the world, demonstrates its versatility and its ability to adapt to current needs. Thus, this way of harnessing the sun without resorting to expensive or complex technologies is projected as one of the most promising strategies to achieve more comfortable, self-sufficient, and environmentally friendly homes. The Amish community usually organizes itself around a solid structure of internal cooperation. One of the most notable traditions in this sense is the shared management of woodlots. These lots are not simply uncontrolled communal forests, but clearly defined areas where each family contributes time and effort to obtain firewood. This firewood is not only used for heating during long winters, but also for cooking, generating heat in their craft workshops. and maintaining the daily functioning of homes, even in regions with harsh climates. The interesting thing about this practice is that, beyond its utilitarian function, it constitutes a unifying element in Amish life. The allocation, cutting, and distribution of wood involve collaborative work. Men organize themselves to cut down trees and distribute the firewood, while women can participate in planning the efficient use of the resource. This process becomes a meeting point where the community gathers periodically, strengthens interpersonal bonds, and transmits knowledge from one generation to another. It is common for young and old to work side by side, learning about cutting techniques, soil rotation, and the selection of mature trees that allow for the sustainable regeneration of the forest. The decision to manage wood as a common resource also has an impact on social cohesion. Instead of each family having to worry individually about their energy supply, the community assumes shared responsibility, ensuring that no one goes cold during the winter. This type of internal economy avoids the inequalities that could arise if some members had more access to forests than others. As a result, the equitable distribution of wood creates a virtuous circle. By having an established and reliable system, mutual trust, cooperation, and a sense of belonging are reinforced. The best thing about this dynamic is, without a doubt, the community unity that is palpable in each of these processes. Solidarity is not only manifested in the distribution of the resource, but also in the construction of a collective identity that values mutual aid over individual interest. For the Amish community, firewood is not just a fuel, it is also a tangible symbol of the group's ability to work together, overcome the challenges of the environment, and keep alive a tradition that, despite the modernity that surrounds them, remains an essential part of their way of life. In Amish communities, the wood-burning stove is positioned at the very center of the home, both literally and symbolically. Its role goes beyond being a simple functional element. This artifact concentrates daily life and family relationships around it. With its constant heat, it manages to counteract the inclement weather and, at the same time, provides a meeting point where daily tasks and coexistence converge. Here are the most important aspects that characterize this tradition and its relevance in today's Amish society. The wood-burning stove is usually strategically located in the center of the house, generally in open spaces that allow heat to circulate to all rooms. Because Amish communities avoid or limit the use of electricity from the public grid, the heat generated by burning wood becomes the main resource for maintaining a warm and comfortable environment. This stable and cozy warmth is a fundamental factor during cold seasons, especially in regions of the northern United States, where low temperatures can be harsh. In addition to providing heat, the wood-burning stove serves the function of cooking daily food. The possibility of preparing breads, stews, soups, preserves, and even desserts over low heat is a practice that keeps alive the culinary traditions passed down from generation to generation. This way of cooking not only adds flavor and authenticity to the dishes, but also integrates into the simple and austere lifestyle that defines Amish communities, where self-sufficiency and connection to the land are valued. Throughout history, and to this day, the use of natural materials such as straw, wool, and sawdust for thermal insulation in homes has proven to be a highly effective, sustainable, and culturally rooted strategy in various regions of the world. These materials, obtained mostly as byproducts of agricultural or livestock activities, have a series of physical and environmental properties that make them an ideal option for those seeking to reduce the carbon footprint in construction, improve the energy efficiency of the home, and take advantage of renewable resources that might otherwise be considered waste. Straw, for example, has been used for centuries in rural houses and bioconstruction due to its high capacity to retain heat. This material is compacted into bales and integrated into walls and roofs, creating air chambers that prevent the leakage of internal temperature. In addition, straw is a local resource in many places, which reduces dependence on inputs transported from great distances. Added to this is its potential to facilitate a healthier indoor environment, since its natural properties allow adequate transpiration of the wall, preventing the accumulation of moisture and the formation of mold. Wool, from sheep and other animals, not only stands out for its insulating properties, but also for its hygroscopic capacity, that is, the ability to absorb and release moisture without losing its thermal efficiency. This factor contributes to maintaining a very stable level of comfort inside homes. Wool, like straw, can be obtained locally, and after its useful life, is easy to recycle or compost. In addition, Its conditioning process usually requires less energy than the manufacture of synthetic insulators, thus reducing associated polluting emissions. For its part, sawdust, a common waste product in the wood industry, is used as insulation by being compacted into boards or mixed with other natural materials. It offers good thermal performance and great accessibility, since its raw material is abundant and economical. Its lightness facilitates installation, and its natural origin guarantees low toxicity, avoiding the presence of volatile chemical components in the indoor environment. This not only improves the quality of the air inside the house, but also contributes to a more conscious construction with human health and the environment. Altogether, the use of straw, wool, and sawdust as natural insulators is a clear example of so-called green building, an architectural and design trend focused on environmental responsibility, energy efficiency, and the well-being of people. Increasingly, architects, engineers, and builders are interested in rescuing these traditional techniques and perfecting them through the application of modern construction criteria, thermal analysis, safety regulations, and quality standards that guarantee durability, resistance, and comfort. These practices are also reinforced by the emergence of the concept of the circular economy, where the idea of reusing, regenerating, and making better use of resources fits perfectly with the logic of using simple, biodegradable, and local materials. In short, straw, wool, and sawdust represent much more than old materials. They are a real and proven alternative to improve the thermal insulation of modern buildings. Their role in reducing the need for heating and air conditioning, decreasing greenhouse gas emissions, and optimizing indoor comfort responds to current challenges such as climate change, energy dependence, and the search for healthier environments. With more and more research, regulations, and practical guides available, these natural solutions continue to gain ground, demonstrating that simple, sustainable, and effective goes hand in hand with innovation and caring for the planet. Wood-fired hot water systems in communities like the Amish are presented as a traditional, efficient, and self-sufficient alternative for home heating, domestic hot water supply, and in some cases, even for heating greenhouses or workshops. These solutions integrate centuries-old methods of using natural resources with modern distribution techniques through internal pipes, which allows for greater comfort and autonomy, especially in rural environments or those where the aim is to minimize dependence on external energy sources. The basis of the system lies in a wood-fired furnace or boiler, which is usually located in a central area of the house or in an easily accessible adjoining area. This combustion chamber is responsible for heating the water until it reaches the appropriate temperature. Subsequently, the hot liquid is pumped through a network of pipes that run through the building. Space heating. The water circulates through radiators, coils, or pipes embedded in the walls or floor, transferring heat to the rooms evenly. This method allows maintaining a constant temperature without the sudden fluctuations that other forms of heating sometimes generate. Domestic hot water. In addition to providing heat to warm the air in the rooms, the hot water is used for everyday purposes such as showers, laundry, cleaning kitchen utensils, and other hygiene needs. In this way, the same energy effort provides thermal comfort and sanitary service. The most outstanding feature of this type of system is its versatility and optimization of resources. By centralizing the heat source for both the internal environment and the water for sanitary use, the following is achieved. Wood, from sustainably managed forests, allows for a constant and local supply, reducing dependence on fossil fuels or electricity. A single device fulfills multiple functions, reducing costs in installation, maintenance, and physical space dedicated to different equipment, water heater, electric radiators, etc. By not depending on the electricity grid or gas systems, this method grants greater energy independence. In communities like the Amish, who often choose to limit their connection to conventional technologies and infrastructure, this independence is a highly valued asset. Wood, used rationally and from controlled felling, is a renewable source that, unlike fossil fuels, contributes to a more balanced balance of carbon emissions, especially if combined with good forestry practices that guarantee reforestation and sustainable use of the forest. At a time when energy efficiency, autonomy, and environmental awareness are becoming increasingly important, wood-fired hot water systems are attractive not only to traditional communities, but also to those seeking to reduce their carbon footprint and dependence on centralized energy infrastructure. In addition, these methods can be combined with complementary technologies such as solar thermal panels to diversify heat sources and ensure a more constant supply throughout the year. Traditional fireplaces in Amish communities play a central role in both daily life and social dynamics. Historically, these fireplaces have been built with local materials, using brick or stone for the structure, and ensuring a design that prioritizes thermal efficiency. Unlike modern heating systems, Amish fireplaces continue to use wood as their main fuel, collected from nearby forests or from sustainably grown timber. This practice not only responds to the need for heat, but also to a principle of self-sufficiency. The Amish usually use their own environment to obtain resources, maintaining a simple economy closely linked to the land. The traditional design includes a large combustion chamber and a chimney high enough to ensure a good draft. Some homes have cast iron wood stoves integrated into the main chimney, which allow heat to be accumulated more evenly and for longer periods. The absence of widespread use of electricity in these communities means that the fireplace becomes the thermal center of the home, especially during the harsh winters of regions such as Pennsylvania, Ohio, or Indiana, where many Amish communities have settled. Fireplaces not only heat, but are also a family gathering point. Stories and laughter are shared there, making the fire an emotional nexus. In Amish culture, family life is a pillar of everyday existence, and the fireplace functions as an axis that brings together members of the household at the end of the day. The constant crackling of firewood creates a welcoming soundscape, while the glow of the flames provides light and warmth as natural light fades. These communities, characterized by simplicity and rejection of certain aspects of modern life, find in the fireplace a space to interact without technological distractions, thus reinforcing oral communication and the transmission of intergenerational knowledge. It is common for oral tradition to be shared around the fire, stories, anecdotes, life lessons, and advice that are passed down from grandparents to grandchildren, building a solid family and community identity. In addition, fireplaces serve as a setting for practical teaching. One learns to light a fire with minimal resources, keep firewood dry, or regulate the air intake to ensure efficient combustion. These seemingly simple activities contain knowledge that has been inherited for generations and reinforces the values of resilience, cooperation, and cultural permanence. The function of the fireplace transcends the mere practical solution of providing heat in cold seasons. The emotional component is evident in the way this corner of the home shapes the relational dynamics between people. Watching the flames dance on the logs is hypnotic and relaxing, fostering an environment conducive to reflection and leisurely dialogue. Even the aroma of burning wood, the warm texture of the surroundings, and the dim light illuminated only by the fire contribute to creating an intimate and meaningful atmosphere. This emotional connection to the fireplace takes on relevance at a time when the outside world is moving at a dizzying pace. In contrast to the immediacy of modern life, Amish communities maintain a leisurely pace, where the emotional warmth of the fireplace replaces the absence of electronic devices and digital bustle. Thus, the fireplace not only evokes the physical warmth so necessary on winter nights, but also stands as a symbol of harmony, rootedness, and cultural continuity, a silent witness to the family strength, shared work, and unity that characterize Amish life. Greenhouses used in Amish settings represent a traditional yet ingenious strategy for maintaining heat in regions with harsh winters, allowing for more sustainable food production throughout the year. Their design, in general, is based on very simple principles: the use of locally available materials, robust construction, and the absence of complex electrical technologies, as these communities generally avoid the use of conventional heating systems. Below, the concept is expanded in greater detail. Greenhouses work by the natural greenhouse effect. Sunlight passes through the transparent material, traditionally glass panels, although today high-quality resistant plastics are also used, and heats the air and internal surfaces. This heat, once trapped inside, raises the temperature in relation to the external environment, enabling a favorable microclimate. In the case of Amish greenhouses, it relies mainly on passive solar energy without resorting to automatic heaters, resulting in a very energy-efficient system. Amish construction is characterized by its simplicity, durability, and harmony with the environment. Therefore, the greenhouses they build usually incorporate solid wood for the structure, transparent materials such as recycled glass or polycarbonate sheets, and enclosures that facilitate air circulation when necessary. These greenhouses tend to be smaller than those on a large commercial scale, as they are designed for family or community self-sufficiency, not for mass production. The orientation of the greenhouse is essential to maximize the capture of solar radiation. They are generally arranged with the main front facing south in the northern hemisphere to ensure a greater amount of light throughout the day. In addition, the structures can be located near other buildings that block prevailing cold winds, or they can be integrated into small hills or depressions in the terrain that help retain heat. This knowledge, passed down from generation to generation, is based on empirical observation of the local climate. Amish greenhouses often use the heat stored in the earth. The thermal mass of the soil and internal elements, such as dark water barrels placed inside the greenhouse, helps regulate the temperature, gradually releasing heat during the coldest hours. This technique, which does not require external energy sources, allows plants to suffer less thermal stress and grow with relative stability despite adverse external weather. The Amish efficiently use natural air currents to ventilate their homes, avoiding dependence on modern technologies. Through careful planning of the distribution of windows and vents, they achieve optimal air circulation that cools and renews the indoor environment. Placing windows on opposite walls allows air to flow from one end of the house to the other, creating a cross-current that facilitates natural ventilation. In addition, installing windows at different heights promotes the upward movement of hot air, facilitating its escape to the outside and maintaining a more constant indoor temperature. They use natural building materials such as wood, which are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also have properties that help regulate the interior temperature, keeping the environment cool in summer and warm in winter. Traditional construction techniques employ materials with inherent thermal insulation properties, reducing the need for additional heating or cooling systems. In the roof, they incorporate chimneys specifically designed to facilitate the escape of accumulated hot air, taking advantage of the principle that hot air tends to rise. Openings in the roof allow for efficient expulsion of hot air, ensuring constant renewal of indoor air without the need for mechanical devices. Ventilation control is achieved by means of adjustable vents that regulate the entry and exit of air as needed, adapting to variations in temperature and humidity throughout the day. In addition, they use blinds and movable panels that facilitate manual control of ventilation, offering flexibility to maximize indoor comfort according to external weather conditions. This approach minimizes the use of electrical devices for ventilation, reducing energy consumption and promoting a more sustainable lifestyle. The constant circulation of fresh air helps maintain low humidity levels and prevent the buildup of pollutants, creating a healthier indoor environment. In addition, the absence of mechanical ventilation systems reduces installation and maintenance costs, making homes more economical in the long run. This method harmonizes with the natural environment, using available resources efficiently without altering the local ecosystem. In a world increasingly dependent on technology, Amish methods remind us of the power of nature and ancestral wisdom to provide sustainable and effective solutions. If you liked the video, subscribe to my channel to see more methods that you will need in your day-to-day life. Until next time.